Every year, on December 28th, people around the globe were disappearing without a trace. No one knew where they were going or why they were disappearing, but the one thing everyone knew for certain was that it was happening every single year on this day. The authorities were baffled and couldn't seem to find any leads. They scoured the streets and searched for clues, but to no avail. The disappearances were happening all over the world, and it seemed as though no one was safe. As the days went by and more people vanished, panic began to set in. People were terrified to leave their homes, and the streets were empty as everyone stayed indoors. The disappearances continued for weeks, and the authorities were no closer to finding a solution. They had no idea where the missing people were or if they would ever come back. Just when everyone had begun to lose hope, the missing people started to reappear. It was as if they had never left, and they were just returning from a long trip. But there was one major difference: none of them could remember where they had been or what had happened to them. They were all completely unaware of the time they had spent away, and they had no memory of their disappearance. The authorities were relieved that the missing people had returned, but they were also puzzled by the lack of memories. They launched an investigation into the disappearances, hoping to find some answers and bring closure to the families of the missing. As they dug deeper, they began to uncover a series of strange events that seemed to be connected to the disappearances. Despite their best efforts, the authorities were never able to fully solve the mystery of the disappearing people. But every year, on December 28th, the people around the globe held their breath, wondering if the disappearances would happen again. And every year, the missing people returned, none the wiser about where they had been. Their world would never be the same, they feel it but couldn't explain.